So here is the result of the efforts so far. What we have is the first couple of issues that are obvious would be a couple of masking spots which need to improve. One for that vehicle's top, and then a bit of a tree that's sticking out from over the rotor shape of the clean patch. But probably the trickier and the thing I want to tackle first is that color shift that we see happening with the video footage from a certain point onward, as the car approaches that turn and pans a little bit to the right. You see that clearly the cameraman was thinking about snowboarding instead of camera settings, and now we have to deal with this problem. How do we address this and help the seamlessness of our work? I would say let's go and find which frame is, or what is the frame range of that initial color shift. Seems to be happening right there, if you look at the differences in this area. So maybe from about 213 through, let's say by 227 or 8, it's already done kind of exposing up. Let's say 227. So between these two frames, I want to keyframe an exposure comparable to what's happening in the footage and apply it to the clean patch. Let's do that with a grade where we can quickly just play with the gamma or the gain settings and see at the frame where we think the exposure shift has concluded for this section. Let's find the match between our still image and the footage. If I just bump the gain up, 1.2 or 3 is already higher than we needed. Probably want to come down to, let's see what levels. I think maybe 1.12 is okay as far as the brightness boost. I'll keyframe this, and then when we go back to 213, I'll take it back down to the default value, and then let's see if this is helping the situation here in this frame range. Okay, looks like I think this initial exposure shift is now matched fairly well. But as I look through the rest of the timeline of that shot, it seems like there is some, continued subtle shift in the color balance of the footage, which the clean patch fails to maintain, to follow. So let's maybe add another grade in the spirit of dividing and conquering. Let's have another grade where we can test and match and maybe keyframe independently for that change. Seems like by 290, that is already evident as a difference between the patch and the footage. So let's try and correct it there. This time, I think we'll need to break into the 3 separate parameters for the red, green, and blue and dial them a little bit differently. I'll take up the red and the blue. The green will have to stay a bit behind, it seems like. The blue maybe like about so. Let's see with and without that. Maybe I can push the green ever so slightly higher. Let's see again that by comparing on and off. Overall, I feel like I want to now take the brightness slightly down. Maybe the multiply can help me with this. I'll do something like 0.9, maybe 5. That might be even much. Okay, that seems better. Now, let's keyframe it, of course. And since I have more than one parameter manipulated, I'll just mix the overall effect of the grade for the given range. Let me disable this for the time being just to see how far back should I keyframe. This one seems like it's going to be more gradual. Let's try it from about 240 onward. Because, yeah, you can see that if I enable it there, it is more than we need. It's a bit of an overkill. So it's too early for it to kick in that strong. Maybe I'll start it just slightly before that, like 230 or so, and keyframe to 0 and let it gain influence over the rest of that shot. So we'll preview this, but I also want to address the masking so that we maybe do one final preview of the shot once that's done. The masking is going to be happening here. And to see easily what I need to do, I will bring another viewer so that we can look only at that node. And make a couple quick changes. Hopefully that will take care of it. Let's see. I'll push this up. Probably about as high as this. Maybe with more of a feather there. And for that tree that was sticking out here, let's see. That helps a bit. That also. Probably about so. Okay, with that done, I'll preview and see if we are ready to wrap up this this shot. Okay, it looks like we're in better shape now. Car, tree, the color shift in the second half of the timeline seems to be working better. Of course, when you guys are testing this, seeing it yourself, don't forget to turn back on the rig removal node that was used earlier up the stream to remove that spot and get an overall better looking shot. But with that, we'll conclude this exercise. We pointed out some very handy workflows of generating a mesh directly within Nuke for something which would otherwise be a difficult surface to just model or eyeball or approximate with some very basic primitives. And with the final exercise, what we'll do is we'll examine a situation in which you have to use more than one surface to project clean patches onto because of either the object or the parallax, the action of the given shot. Let's see how that is handled.